The Disrupt Education vlog can be found on YouTube. To hear it in podcast form, search Disrupt Education on any of the following podcast platforms: Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Castbox, Overcast, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Spotify, or Stitcher. Welcome to this episode of Disrupt Education. I'm here with Kevin Price.
Hey, good to be with you.
Good being here, man. I really appreciate you coming on over. Tell us a little bit about who you are.
Sure. So I'm Kevin Price, born in River Forest, grew up at Oak Park River Forest High School. Lived in River Forest my entire life, and then my summer going into freshman year of college, my parents sold the house and moved downtown. So pretty big lifestyle change, but I love River Forest. I love Oak Park. Especially I think when I went off to college, and a lot of college students will say this, but you kind of go off and like you realize how thankful you should be to be from like Oak Park River Forest High School. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, it's kind of a little bit about me, and I've enjoyed every moment of it.
What are you doing these days? Where are you working? How you?
So yeah, I work for Principal Financial Group. So they're a retirement and insurance solutions business. I'm on the insurance side, so I'm going to sales. Well, we're not so much B2C, meaning business to consumer, but business to business. So basically, Peter Holzstrasser's tool and die company, it wants to provide benefits for their employees, right? So you're going to go through an insurance broker, right?
Yeah.
And that broker is going to come through me. So I'm selling to the broker.
Right.
I feel like I always need to say that. Yeah. When I tell people I'm in the insurance business now, they always say, oh, he's going to try and sell me a policy.
Right.
No, I'm not going to try and sell you life insurance, believe me.
Where's your briefcase? You're coming around trying to sell.
Exactly.
So getting into where you are now, tell us a little bit about your educational path. And you can go back to elementary school or start in middle school or wherever you want to start.
So I was definitely, I think you've used this term before, I was definitely a non-traditional learner. So I think I remember struggling in school since probably elementary school. I mean, it was always harder for me. Just had to work harder than other students. And there was a time, and I'm being serious, there was a time where my tutor expense was larger than my parents' mortgage.
Wow.
That's how much help I needed at one time.
Wow.
And so I went to a lady in Hinsdale, Miss Serena, I called her, Serena Rinaldi, who was amazing. Love her to this day. We still keep in touch. And about 8th grade, that's when it kind of started to click for me. And still have to work harder. I just learned differently from other kids. But I'll tell you, on my college applications and other applications, I almost always talk about it because I think that's one of the reasons why I have the work ethic that I do today is because I don't have a choice. Sometimes I have to work harder than other people. But shout out to my parents because I was definitely fortunate that, we could afford tutoring. Like I said, it was a big expense for us, but I was very fortunate that they could invest in me. So.
How did you learn differently? Can you explain that a little bit further?
Yeah, so it just for me it just took me longer to understand certain things. Okay. How would I describe it? There's just times where sometimes I'll read a question on the test and then I might have to read that question 3 times to truly understand the true meaning. Okay. I'm trying to think of other examples, but that was the biggest thing. And I have my ADHD or whatever, and I'm not one of those people who's self-diagnosed. I went to the special doctor or whatever early on, and but the thing is I never let that stop me. My dad was talking to someone the other day, and this person was saying how they're I think she's in high school girl, is hard. I don't know. Basically, the parent was just making excuses, right? And my dad's listen, I have a kid, same thing in high school, and he simply just puts in the time. So, there's just, and I'll never forget being diagnosed with ADHD, right? Yeah. And I looked up online all these people who had ADHD, and there's just so many people who have it, and with all this being said, I would say it's important that you find an area for when you get a job, obviously. It's important you find an area in which you can capitalize on your own skill set, right? Yeah. And so I might learn differently. I might take longer to learn. But like all my friends in college were like, Kevin, you need to stop working. I'm like, and the thing is it's not so much, I'm not giving my credit for working hard. I'm just saying that I just put in more time than like not my peers, but some of my friends. Right. I'll never forget. I was in college. It was Friday afternoon. Okay. I got to the law library at probably 2:00 in the afternoon. I probably left at 5:30, and my mom called me around 2, and then she called me around 5:30.
Yeah.
And I was whispering because I was in the law library, right? And she said, "Are you still in the library?" I said, "Yeah." And she said, "It's 5:30. I said, "I know, Mom. I have work to do." And she goes, "No wonder you can't find a girlfriend."
Yeah, right.
So that should show you something,
There it is. There it is. When you found your area that you're good in, right, that you mentioned before, how did you figure that out with you know, your learning patterns?
Yeah. So for me, I kind of got lucky in the sense that all my life people told me you need to go into sales or be a politician. I remember
I can see that.
Miss Carlson, the librarian, remember her? She used to say, you know, you could sell iPads to the Amish, or you could do all this stuff. And so anyways, I always knew that like I liked people. I was always just good with people. I enjoyed talking to people, and there's just something, I just love people. I don't know. Like someone asked me that in an interview one time. I said, I don't know what it is. I think it's just God given. I just love people.
Yeah.
So I definitely had it was luck of the draw in that sense, because when so many people tell you what they think you need to do, you consider it by default, right? That doesn't mean you should just pick a major because your mommy or daddy told you to, right? But I couldn't help but think about it almost by default.
You heard it over and over and over again.
Right.
It wasn't just like once, oh, wait, I should do that.
Right. And then I got probably my senior year and started to find out like how much money salespeople started to make. And so then I was like, okay, this could be a good business for me to be in for sure. Yeah,
that's how did you figure? What was it? 2, 3, 4 times did you hear that? Like
in terms of like you need to be in sales?
Right.
Oh no, I mean gosh, that's a good question. I don't even know how many times I've heard that, but like it was enough to, I can't count them on both hands. So
yeah, I remember a few of us talking. About that. So, but going back then into education. Is there something that you would change about a traditional system that to make it a little bit more engaging to you?
Yeah, you know, the thing that I would like to do, I don't know if this was Oak Park that did this or a different high school, but you know how when kids accept their college acceptance letters, they'll all wear their college shirt to school or whatever. And, I saw one high school recently on Facebook had a trade school, like college, whatever day. And going to trade school and learning how to be a plumber or being an electrician is something to be celebrated, you know? And so, I don't know, I hear college, people who are going to college or people who go to college, they're the ones getting all the attention, whereas you know, being a plumber is very respectable, and frankly, you're going to make a lot more money out of college or out of school, out of high school, than you are at college.
Right.
So I don't know. I guess I would just try and change. I would try and help kids figure out a path to what they're good at and what they want to do in life without going to college, right? So people are always telling me, oh, well, in college, you're supposed to find yourself. Okay? First of all, what does that mean? Secondly, it is damn expensive to go find yourself for 4 years. So I don't really know what that means. I mean, a lot of people say that you're going to find yourself, you're going to get the time of your life. And like, don't get me wrong, I like Drake. I love Drake. I go back to Drake. But I'm not one of those people who's like obsessed with my alma mater. Just because I only believe it has so much to do with your success. You know, I can tell you, Drake University did not get me this job. I mean, it just didn't. Don't get me wrong; it helps to have like a solid university on your resume, but I mean, I'm in sales. They don't care about your resume. It's the numbers. That's all it is.
What can you bring in? If you had to tell a 17-year-old something right now, and dealing with, you know, their path and in the rest of their high school or beyond, what would it be?
I would say just try and talk to people, whether it's your friend's parents, whether it's your aunt and uncle. Just try and figure out, see if you can job shadow them for literally a couple of hours. That was the biggest thing that I think helped me. You know, in high school, a lot of a lot of my friends gave me a hard time because I had all these older friends, right? Because I like to hunt, right? So I hang out with guys in their 50s and 60s, and they always gave me a hard time about it. But I can tell you, when it was time to find jobs and internships, no one seemed to be laughing anymore. And a lot of those guys just helped me figure out what I wanted to do because they were saying, hey, why don't you do an internship for me? Why don't you do an internship for me this summer, next summer, so on and so forth. But the important thing is you just have to be interested, because people take an interest in people who ask questions and people who are interested, right? And that's just the way it is. I mean, if you're a unengaged or disengaged person, no one really takes an interest in you. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
And so even throughout not only my academic career, but also like my shooting career, people took an interest in me. I mean, I had multiple coaches who helped me out shooting and literally gifted me shotguns. And it was just because I took an interest, I asked questions, and so on and so forth. So, sorry, that's a long...
but asking questions, building a network.
I mean, building a network, but just trying to find, whether it's your friend's parents or aunt and uncle or whatever, just ask them questions. Say, wait, what do you do for a living? Can you help me figure out what I want to do? Because I'm telling you, think about it. If one of your kids' friends said, hey, Mr. Holzschasser, I want to learn about what you do. Can you sit down with a cup of coffee? Can you have a cup of coffee?
I'd love it.
You'd love it. I mean, and everyone loves that, especially when you're 17 years old. And I'm telling you, that's the other thing. If anyone's young, if anyone who is watching is young, people love that. Now that I'm 21, it's... I miss all like my junior discounts. So people just take an interest in you when you're young, and so I just say, like you said, build that network and talk to people.
Fantastic. That's great advice. I mean, that network is so huge. I mean, that's how actually we're working together, and we've networked with certain people.
Absolutely.
That's why you're here. Honestly.
Thank you.
So what's next for you, man?
Wow. That's a big question. You know what? I just started with principal. June 4th, so I think I'm on my 10th week now. Someone, actually my boss, asked me that. He said, you know, we're gonna train you up, you're gonna do great, what's next after that, right? And so the best way to be promoted is to do an exceptional job at your current job. So that's what I'm focusing on right now. I'm just kind of head down, nose to the grindstone. Like I said, principal invests a lot in their employees. So, and the other thing I want to say that I just kind of thought of as you asked me this question, because I'm sure there's like millennials who watch this. There's going to be a time in your life where you need to work, and millennials love this term called work-life balance. And don't get me wrong, there's something to be said for that. Work-life balance is great, but there's going to be a time in your life where you need to work.
Right.
And the way I look at it is, once again, I'm in a training program for 6 to 9 months. I am getting paid to learn. I'm in sales, and I don't have to sell a damn thing for another 7 months. And they're paying me to learn. So I know that's off topic, but it just made me think about it.
Being humble,
question.
Right?
Absolutely.
Just being humble and finding the opportunity in something that you typically may not want to do.
Absolutely. And there's stuff, listen, I mean, there's stuff about my job, like right now I'm reading underwriting guidelines, and like, it's not anything fun, but the way I look at it is, again, I'm at the office, I'm learning, I'm getting paid to learn, and you really can't beat that. So what's next for me? Hopefully making a lot of dough.
There you go. Big clientele. Where can people find you online, man?
You can go to Facebook or go to my LinkedIn. That's better.
LinkedIn.
Kevin Price and Principal Financial Group, and I hope to connect with you.
Awesome.
Hey,
appreciate it, man.
Thank you. It's always good to see you.
Yes, great information. take a look at this guy. As a matter of fact, if you have any needs, I'll sell the insurance for you. No, but great advice, and our viewers and listeners are really going to gain a lot of knowledge out of that.
I hope
appreciate it.
It's always good to be with you. So
a true disruptor of education right here. Guys, we'll see you next time on Disrupt Education.